Maxim number 12 from Chateau Heartiste. The cumulative experience with hot women imbues the womanizer with a genuinely aloof aura that attracts even more women to him. Corollary to Maxim 12. If you don't have an adequate amount of aloofness-inducing experience with hot women, act like you do. Act as if works just fine in this scenario. What I do like about game is because women cannot read your mind. They don't know. You can fake it till you make it. You can act as if, and you will get good results. And what's the interesting thing is when you act as if you're confident, act as if, you have 5 women chasing after you, act as if you got out of bed with 2 different girls this morning. When you do this and you stick with it, you start to see, you begin to internalize that feeling, you internalize the experiences, and pretty soon you are actually getting out of bed with one girl and you're going to bed with another girl the same day. You start seeing some strange correlations. It's almost like if you visualize yourself throwing a perfect pitch, for lack of a better analogy. You're a baseball player and you throw over and over and over and over. And mentally you see yourself throwing that perfect pitch, knowing you can, even though, you're not exactly hitting it exactly right every time. Over time, you will start making a perfect pitch more times than not. And with game, you can get way more accurate than you can throwing a baseball, believe it or not. You can get very good at selecting the girls that you're attracted to and that are attracted to you and moving them from stranger to in your bed. The cumulative experience with hot women imbues the womanizer with genuinely aloof aura. Again, when you are around, if you get lucky and a buddy of yours is a true, like a natural alpha, whether it be natural or learned, most guys are naturals that are out running around. I've seen most guys that are self-made tend to, they don't run with a partner always. Guys that are naturals naturally look for a wingman, and usually that's one of us, guys that have some natural ability, but also a lot of like learned ability on the ground. Natural alphas will be very lighthearted, kind of natural assholes. They approach women. They say things that you would never say yourself until you see it working. That's where a lot of asshole game comes from, is from the naturals. But when you have a lot of success, and it doesn't take long to start building on success, you start getting more success. It's kind of like you build a reputation, whether it's by word of mouth or by the way you carry yourself, that that if you miss this girl, it's like a bus. There's another one coming in 10 minutes. So the interesting thing is, and I want to convey this, how fast game works. When you focus in and study this stuff for about an hour a day and are actually, using it and applying it to your day-to-day life, usually within 6 weeks to 6 months, you have a completely different outlook in life. I mean, I always say that fitness is faster than game, and then business is least fast, which stays. But sometimes with game, even though you're dealing with variables like women, as opposed to very solid, 45 pounds is 45 pounds in the gym. When you deal with game, you can see results faster than in any other personal improvement endeavor. It's that powerful. It's so rarely used, and it just works. So when you apply game, it doesn't take very long until you go from a guy that is kind of struggling to get dates to a guy that's juggling women. And it can happen within 6 weeks to 6 months on the outside. Definitely at 6 months, people have a completely different lifestyle. But I do get a lot of outreach from guys that started out struggling, and then they're at the intermediate. They have 2 girls in 1 week that they've slept with, that they're going out with for the second time. And then they have a third and a fourth girl that are going to be their second date and they know that they'll close. Guys that use my how to build a dating system never go beyond the second date to close. It's either first date or second date. We've never had anybody go to a third date yet. No one's told me about it yet. It may happen. We'll see, in the future. But the cumulative experience with hot women imbues you with an aura of confidence that just carries. And again, you can fake it. And it attracts even more women to them because you have one, irrational self-confidence, and you carry that with you everywhere you go. And you have outcome independence, because if she passes on you, that's okay. There's another girl coming in 10 minutes. You can just pick up the phone, you can text the next girl. Outcome independence is extremely sexy to women because they're used to guys being very outcome dependent upon her and how she acts, and then they react to that. But when a girl says, I'm not interested, you're like, okay, have a great day. And then you walk off, it tells her that you're definitely on to the next girl. You can't stick around. I always tell guys, if you get rejected, just move on quickly. No, okay, thanks. Have a great day. And then move on, and then ask the next girl out. You can ask her sister out. If her mom's standing there, you can ask her out. Again, don't hesitate to immediately bounce to the next girl, because the faster you move, because again, it's just girls. They can be replaced. She says no, that's okay. The next one will say yes. And if that one says no, that's okay. The next one will say yes. You will get a yes eventually. It's a numbers game. But again, in the beginning, you have to focus in and know that you can fake this. Your irrational self-confidence, your outcome independence. And again, you kind of have to fake it, just like with any skill. It's like guys that are, like I always try to give it the sports analogy, but you can even do it in your job. When you start your job, you're not a master at what you're doing. You do have to kind of fake that you're good or competent, at least, at what you're doing. And then over time, with enough experience, you actually become competent. It's kind of like in the gym business or in personal training. It takes you about 5 years to see everything, every possible scenario once. And I found that in almost all careers that have some substance to them, it takes a minimum of 5 years of experience to see everything you're going to see once. You may not be able to deal with it smoothly, but nothing's going to hit you that you haven't seen before. And I think you can see the same thing in game, but you'll get that cumulative experience a little bit faster. I don't want anybody to think that it takes 5 years to sort out women, but that's an example. It usually takes about 1 year to 2 years, if you're like running through a lot of women, to see just about every scenario once. If you're running a lot of women, if you end up like in monogamy, well, now you have a whole another set of problems. But just remember that you can fake this. Maxim number 12, the cumulative experience with hot women imbues the womanizer, you, with a genuinely aloof aura that attracts even more women to him. Always have that irrational self-confidence and outcome independence, and you'll naturally attract more women.